Wow. Oh my days. Like, what the fuck is going on in America? I'm like in so much shock right now. Call me naive, but a lot of the shit I've been listening to for like the past few days is like, what the fuck, man? Like, what the hell is going on over there? Because I was watching some videos and basically it was like black men saying what differences they had between black women and blah 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 blah, and I could understand that there, but everyone's allowed to share their feelings for a race or whatever. But wow, like some of the stuff they were saying about what these women do and how they feel and that, I don't see that on a daily basis. I really don't. And like, I was watching, the first video I watched, was by some guy called Dark One Sun One, I think, and he was basically talking about interracial dating in California, and he said that interracial dating in California is like interracial dating in the UK. Now, I strongly disagree with that. I personally do not feel interracial dating in the UK is the same as interracial dating in California. Firstly, California is a state. Secondly, UK is made up of 4 different countries: Wales, England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, yeah? And all 4 of those places, white people are the majority. And, you know, where you have a load of white people and the minority are black people, obviously there's going to be some mixing going on. It's almost like a natural thing, yeah? So, yeah, that's basically one of the reasons why I think it's not the same. Secondly, from what I see, it's almost like black people in America, or like in California especially, are dating outside their race because they feel some way about the women or the men in their race. Whereas in the UK, it's not like that. Okay, you get a handful of black people who feel some way about the women or men in their race. But from my experience, it hasn't been like they just like who they like, sort of thing. It hasn't really been such a big issue, and if it was a big issue, it was always in the privacy of their own home. Like, it wasn't like, how can I say this? I wouldn't say there was less racism in the UK. Of course not. Like, there's like black people have to deal with a ton of racism, but it's all on a low sort of thing. Whereas in America, it's sort of like, because there's like so much history behind black and white people in America, it's sort of, if you do this, this will happen to you. If you do that, this will happen to you. But in the UK, it's like you just do what you want to do. Of course, people are going to have their opinions about you, but usually people don't let that other people's opinions get in the way of how they feel about another person. And yeah, like, I'm just like so shocked. And another reason why I disagree when someone said that interracial dating in California is coming like interracial dating in the UK, is because even though, yeah, black boys date white girls, yeah, they're still talking to black girls. They don't have a problem with black girls. Like, they might date white girls, but they're still talking to black girls. And I know some black girls, yeah, who have hooked these black boys up with white girls. Just like 2 days ago, one of my friends, she hooked up this black boy that we talk to regularly, on a regular, with this white girl, this half Indian, half white girl. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, you can't really compare the two because the history behind it all is different. What makes it worse, I believe, what makes it worse in America is the history that's behind it all. Like, I don't know correct me if I'm right or wrong, but in America, because of all the racism that came with interracial dating and the fact that black people weren't really accepted fully in America, is the reason why black people had to stay together, because they had no other option. But because times are changing where they can sort of stay outside their race, everyone's getting hyped up about it. Whereas in the UK, it's nothing, because firstly, interracial dating is higher amongst Caribbean people, and I believe it's like this because Caribbean people weren't really told they had to stick with their own people. Like, in my family, my grandma, my granddad, except, you know, love their children whether they marry a white woman, Spanish woman, you know, Indian woman, whatever. Like, you love who you love, sort of thing. And because it hasn't been, like, they haven't been forced to stay within their race, it's not, and it's just like an everyday sort of thing. And yeah, like, what is the deal? Like, someone tell me what the hell is going on, because because of all this Malcolm X and Martin Luther King stuff I keep hearing, I never thought that the shit that's going down between black Americans would ever happen. Like, of course I see some shit on YouTube that's like, or Ricky Lake, where they're just chatting rubbish, yeah. But it's like, wow. I'm actually in shock, and there's people saying that they feel sorry for black people in the UK because interracial dating is high. But it's not like, it's not as deep as it is in America. Like, in America, interracial dating has like a deeper meaning. I believe that it has like a deeper meaning, whereas in the UK, it just happens. You know, you're in a place where majority of people are white. Those are the people you're interacting with, and 9 times out of 10, they're going to be the people you marry and have children with, because those are the people that you're around. Simple. If I'm around black people for the majority of my life, I'm in a place where there's loads of black people and that's all I know, like, most of the time, that's who I'm going to be dating. Simple. And I'm not going to say that people are just making a big deal. I can't say that because I don't live in America, so I can't really say that they're making a big deal or whatever, because I don't live there. But living in the UK, I don't believe you can compare what's happening in the UK to what's happening in America. I actually believe, of course, in the UK we have our issues. Like, most of the stuff that's said by these men in their videos, a lot of men in the UK can relate, but to a certain extent, because not everything that's done in America is done here. If you look at all the interracial dating videos where people have an issue, most of them, anyway, my computer went to sleep. Anyway, most of them are American based. It's like, of course you get the few UK videos where they're talking about it, but if you type in interracial dating, most of the people talking about it are American, because I believe that it's seen as like a big deal over there. Anyway, I'll make a part.